So you've obviously met, we've met some of you before already, which is brilliant. So say hi, Rose and Matt.
Hello. Hi.
Absolutely brilliant. So the three of us run these webinars every month, and it's all really about Bullhorn, and it's about helping you use the platform more effectively. And I must stress, nobody rings me and says, Lisa, I want to be an expert on Bullhorn, but they do say, I want to use it better. I want to be more effective with my tech. So just remember, we do three things. Ultimately, we're here to train you. We're here to coach you. We're here to help you with your Bullhorn first strategy. We're here to help you automate. And we have a platform that helps us do that as well. We've built a little platform, say a little, it's a bit of a beast now, called Recruitment Hit. So if you want speedy 2 to 3 minute tips, continuous learning, always improving, always looking for those marginal gains in Bullhorn, recruitment, counter offer management, Sourcebreaker, automation, analytics, Interview, Pager, LinkedIn, Hit is the platform. And some of our Hit clients are on the call today, which is great. Evidently as well, we do a lot of automation. We are classed as one of the best Bullhorn automators globally. Yeah. And if any of you work for a niche recruitment business, a little tiny cute one, you'll know that that's quite a satisfying thing to be said about you if you're niche and you're really good at your stuff. So keep us in mind for that. And just bear in mind that we do a lot of automation work for clients, and some of our automation clients are on the call today as well. Next slide, please. Right, lovely. Talking of automation, we've got our next automation webinar, which is next week. Although, who needs it? I mean, just dump all your data on Bullhorn. Hope somehow you make some money from it. I mean, obviously, the way that systems work these days is you put the data on the system and it just sorts itself out, doesn't it? It just places itself. Alternatively, you could come to our automation webinar next week where Wayne is going to show you at least 5 ways that you can turn that data into money. Everybody needs a bit of that, don't they? And if you don't have automation, still come educate yourselves, because automation isn't a matter of when. No, it's not a matter of if. I'm not practiced. It's definitely a matter of when. And most of the clients that we automate say, I wish I'd done this sooner. So come whether you've got automation or not. And equally as well, our next Bullhorn tips webinar, remember I said we run them every month, is all about, again, monetization. We love that word. I need to get a t-shirt. And we're looking to help you find gold in their hills. Yeah, again, don't think chucking a load of data on Bullhorn and then looking everywhere else for loads of leads is a good use of your time. It ain't. Trust me. Bullhorn first. There's money in that system. Rose and Matt are going to help you find it on our next webinar. So you all need to come to that and bring your friends, bring your dogs.
There is some really cool stuff in there that could really help you find those extra jobs.
Absolutely. Good. Who wants to spend all day looking for them elsewhere, spending loads of money on LinkedIn and prospecting to people that you've never spoken to? It's not fun, and it's definitely not effective in the current market. So next, let's not forget, training should be every single day in some way, whether or not it's just a 1-minute tip. Oh, talking of 1-minute tips, we've got loads. We've started creating them on our website. So I'll start sending them to you if you haven't seen them already, or you could log into our website if you dare. Just go to the blog, look for the 1-minute tips. What are they? They're 1 minute and they're a tip on how to do stuff. It could be on how to generate more business. It could be on how to source more effectively. It could be how to use automation to find lapsed clients that you need to wake up. Really good stuff there. So look out for those 1-minute tips. Next, please. Right, I'm interested. Again, every month we ask this question, where would you really like to point a laser and improve things? Where in the recruitment life cycle, and you're going to get a poll in a second, where in the recruitment life cycle are you going to, if you really had a magic wand, what would you actually improve? And it's always interesting to find out what you guys and gals are thinking, because for obvious reasons, that will also help us define what future webinars are going to be about. And that's really important because we want to keep you guys happy. Yeah, candidate management's important. Oh, and a candidate management webinar last month, didn't we, Rose?
We did.
We did indeed. All about stopping that dropout, preventing that counteroffer, getting the candidate focused on you and not doing anything stupid like changing their minds. Right, next slide, let's go. Really interested, is Bullhorn important? She says, course it is. Of course it is. Otherwise you wouldn't be here. But I want to know how important it is. One of my clients recently said it's Bullhorn only. He shut everything else down. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can access other stuff for free, but he's not paying for anything else, and he's not accepting Excel spreadsheets in his business anymore. And he's shut SharePoint now is very, very structured. But it used to be Bullhorn first for him, and then one day he went, no, it's Bullhorn only now. And oh my God, have they increased their sales? Have they increased their speed and time to hire? Absolutely. Right then, so I'm going to literally hand over in about 1 minute, but I just want you to be thinking about a few things while you're listening out for these tips that Rose and Matt are going to give you. You know, these tips are not here for, you know, turning up to the webinar isn't the goal, is it, peeps? Yeah, going to the gym isn't the goal. I don't know, self-improvement, attending something isn't the goal. It's actually doing something with it and then continuously doing something with it. So make sure that you grab at least one item from the list today, because actually if you use Bullhorn first, you place quicker, which is nice, makes you more competitive, keeps candidates focused, stops them from wandering off. Because I always say to my clients, the most risky part of the recruitment process is when you're not there most of the time, which basically means whatever you can do, you need to stay in control. The only way you really do that is using Bullhorn first, Bullhorn only, really. As well, a lot of our clients are spending way too much time looking for stuff, and it's got worse over the years because we've got more stuff to look through. It's a mess because data's really invisible. We just keep dumping more stuff onto our system and then going, can't find anything, I'll go and get some more. Or can't find anything, I'll go and look in LinkedIn. Can't find anything, I'll advertise. More crap, more stuff, still can't find anything. Of course, if some of you automate, you won't have that problem, will you? That's the good thing about automation. It sorts that problem out. And equally, we know that candidates, most of them, I mean, we asked a client the other day, didn't we, Rose, on a training course that we were running live, and they said about 80 to 90% of the candidates that apply for their jobs, no good. So in other words, why do we keep doing that? Why do we keep advertising and then going, oh, what a load of crap? Why don't we just use the data that we've got and then maybe top it up? So we're going to be looking at that from a hot tips perspective today to make you more effective, so that ultimately what's in it for me? Well, yeah, I'm a recruiter. I get to spend more time with my kids, or less time if you prefer it that way, or more time at the gym, maybe going to the gym at lunchtime rather than trying to squeeze it in at the beginning or end of the day. Maybe just generally you're just a happier person with a load more money. Depends what floats your boat or ticks your boxes. But I don't want you to be wasting any more time because it's a very precious commodity. I don't want you losing out to your competitors for obvious reasons, because it's a really silly reason to not place a candidate because somebody else did. It's a really silly reason. Equally, keeping your candidates and clients focused in the world that we're now in, which is so remote and so hybrid, and there's a distinct lack of buy-in, and with relationships now, it's hard to keep people focused on you. So whatever you do, those touch points are important. And ultimately as well, if you are money orientated, and by the way, that's not a bad thing. Most of us go to work to earn, otherwise we'd all work in a charity shop. So being money orientated is really good. And focusing on that, what's in it for me? So more money, more time, happier, easier way of doing jobs. Yeah. Okay. And not losing out for silly reasons. So I want you to be thinking about how Rose and Matt are going to help you have an easier day. Yeah. All these tips are going to show you today. And ultimately as well, what they're going to do to make sure that you make more money within your business as well.
So yeah, our first tip, and I must state that this is for enterprise clients, so the rest of the tips will be corporate as well, but you've got lots of different dashboards within that system, and I find them when I speak to clients doing discoveries and Bullhorn training, it's one of the areas that they're not really using, but they're really, really good. Going to help you focus your time, going to point things out to you that you need to jump on top of and really increase your productivity. So if we click onto the next slide, we've got a nice little click through for you here. Now, if you're aware of your dashboards, which I think some of you said that you were, you can access them in quite a few different places. You can access them within your lists, but you've also got this lovely My Dashboards area as well, where you can add as many dashboard cards as you wish. This one that's popping up now with vacancies without coverage is personally one of my favourites because it really keeps you on top of your jobs. So vacancies without coverage in that particular example was effectively show me vacancies that haven't got any CV sends against them yet. That's what the coverage setting was for that one. So that's going to really focus your time on looking at those jobs that you need to work. You'll see there's a lovely list underneath, and you can really get on top of those vacancies and not forget about them. We've got contacts by status appearing in the background. That's really good for keeping on top of the contacts, like new lead contacts, new business development that you need to convert and work. Maybe those are phone calls that you need to put in there. And then we've got companies by open vacancies, which is just popping on the screen there as well. So really good at focusing your time on your key clients.
Thanks, Rose. So the next thing is the quick search icons. Now you'll tend to find these in both the candidate and the contact record. And what they're really good for is, first of all, helping you streamline your sourcing and screening, because you can quickly check to see if there's anything on LinkedIn or anything on Google to do with your candidates or contacts you need to be aware of. But also as an addendum or as a bonus to that, if you're looking at their LinkedIn profile and they posted an article that is particularly interesting or they seem particularly engaged with, it's a really good opportunity to build that rapport there. So you can see here, we're just going into a candidate record, and then the quick search icons, they're sat there right at the top next to the name. They're actually really easy to miss because they are just there. But you click the G, running a Google search, clicking the LinkedIn icon, and then that's running a LinkedIn icon. So when you are sourcing or you are screening, it's a really good quick way for building, for quickly checking the suitability of the candidates and making sure that there's nothing there that you should be aware of, no glaring red flags, but also it gives you that opportunity to build up some rapport.
Excellent. So another feature within Bullhorn, which again, not all clients know about when we speak to them for discoveries, is the linking candidate and client records together. So a lot of you said, you know, business development is one of your key areas you want to improve on, you know, maybe looking at candidates that you've placed within certain roles and quickly creating them as a contact record so you can get onto them as a potential lead within a new business. And it's a really, really simple feature, really easy to use in Bullhorn. So whether you're in a contact record, as we are here, nice and easy, go to the actions menu at the top right corner, click that you want to create a linked record, pop in a few details, and it immediately is going to create a candidate record in the background. And then once that's done, at the top of the screen, you'll have a view linked candidate button or view linked contact button, which makes it nice and easy that you can flip back and forth between the two. Yeah, so it just keeps on top of all that data.
So this feature, the find similar candidates, I actually think it's a really, really great feature, and it can really help you streamline your shortlisting and speed up your sourcing. Because rather than having to find, let's say, 100 candidates all that are suitable for a role, what you can do is instead is find that one candidate that's really perfect. They've got all the criteria that you need. You know, if you could get them, they would be a shoo-in for that role. And then there's actually a really great feature in Bullhorn where you can find similar candidates. And what that will do then is it will essentially create a search based on that candidate's profile to bring up anyone that's similar, or, you know, would look like they would fit the same kind of role or the same kind of suitability. So rather than you having to look for absolutely all of those different features and criteria, find that one candidate, find similar candidates, and then right there, you've got your long list ready to go.
Lovely. Desired categories and skills. So on a contact record, and as I said at the start, some of you again are using this, but for me, for business development, again, account management and so on, it's absolutely critical and key. But one of those things in Bullhorn that sometimes is underutilised massively, but sometimes also misunderstood as well, hence underutilised. But it's really going to streamline your selling if you can get this data on your system, on your contacts, and it's going to hugely speed up your matching potential when you're wanting to potentially take a candidate that you've interviewed and you want to sell them to a client, whether that be calls or whether that be e-shots, whatever it might be. This is going to vastly increase that speed for you. And it's really, really simple, as a lot of these things are. All you need to do is hopefully you've got your coded list set up on candidates. You just go to your contact and you just go to the desired area, and what you're doing is you're saying who that contact desires. So it's not what people misunderstand. It's not what that contact is or who they are. It's who or which candidates they desire, which candidates would they recruit. And then nice and easy, once you've got that data on the system, you can reverse search. So you can go into your contact list, which we are doing here, and basically say, show me all the contacts that desire this excellent candidate that I've just interviewed, using categories and skills. And there you are, you've got a canvas list in front of you, again, to make those calls or maybe to do those e-shots.
So parent and child companies. Now, these are really good for building up your market map or really getting a broader picture of your clients. So if you've got some smaller clients, then it may be that they're subsidiaries of a large group. Or if you've got a particularly large group, it may be that they've got multiple different subsidiaries within them. That's harder to say than it seems. And where I find this can be really useful is particularly when you're looking for referrals. So if you're dealing with the manager of one of the subsidiaries and you've got a really good relationship with them, regularly placing them, and there's 3 other subsidiaries with 3 other managers doing the same or similar things, they're probably going to need the same services as well. So it could be a great door to go, if you've got that mapped out, say to your client you've got the relationship with, oh, I can see you're part of a group with this person. Could you introduce me to them? Do you think that they benefit from my services? And yeah, the way you find it, literally on the company record, you just go to view, you click on the actions in the top, view parent roll-up, and that will give you the breakdown of those companies, not just showing you the subsidiaries within it, but also the different divisions within that company itself. So really, really handy for mapping that market.
Excellent. And very similar in the same vein, in the same place in Bullhorn, there's organisation charts as well. So excellent for growing your pipeline, making sure again that you're taking candidates and you're taking them to the right people as well, making sure that you're going to the right decision makers and so on. And it's really, really easy to build in Bullhorn. So as we can see here, if we click on to a company and do view organisational chart, we've got an example in the background here where we can see the relationships between the managers and the people they manage and so on. It's easy to do this, it's easy to build. All you need to do is one little field in Bullhorn that you need to update, and that's the reports to field, which you can see on the click through in the background. So you just add in the reports to, as long as that manager is on Bullhorn, it's then going to start just constructing and building the organisation chart in the background.
So the final Bullhorn tip we've got for you is the mapping feature. And this can be really great because you can actually see on a live map your candidates, your vacancies, and also your contacts or your companies. So where this can be really powerful and really handy is if you've got quite a broad area or you've got lots of different areas, it could just really allow you to zone in and see, actually, if I've got a lot of companies, say in one area, but not many candidates, perhaps you need to focus your sourcing on the candidates there. Or if you've got a lot of vacancies in one area, but again, not many candidates in that same area, again, that could be an indication of that's where you want to really focus that sourcing. Or you could look at it the other way around. If you've got an area where you've got a really high density of candidates, but not too many jobs, not too many companies, contacts, it could indicate to you that that's where you want to focus your time. So it's just really good for helping keep your desk balanced, your pipeline balanced, and making sure actually you're making use of the data that you've got, rather than having bits here, bits there, bits here, bits there, and trying to match it all up.
Fabulous. And then our bonus tip for automation. So some of you who've got automation, you might have seen this already, you might not. For those of you who haven't got automation, then this is like a little sneak preview into some of the absolutely fantastic stuff it can do. One of many, many fantastic things it can do. But there's something in automation called auto match. So what that does is it takes vacancies or jobs, if you call them jobs, on your system, and it runs some searching capability and then provides the recruiter with a nice list of candidates that potentially match that role. So here we've got a bit of a preview into automation in the background. We're creating a nice list of vacancies which are live and active on our system. And then we're looking at particular owner. There's lots of different ways you can tailor these searches. You can tailor them by category, you can tailor them by owner. You could do a very wide one and just look at all the jobs that you've got on the system. But the first and foremost, we set up the jobs that we want to match. And then we do the match candidate step, which we've got here. We've got lots of nice parameters at the top, matching candidates of a certain area, matching top 10 candidates, top 20 candidates, and so on. And then we create a custom candidate list to focus in on. And like I said, what the automation will do is it will send that recruiter a nice list of all those candidates that potentially match, and then you can do with them what you please. Or you can go even further, which is what the example's doing in the background, and it's actually automatically shortlisting the candidates to the job as well. So if you trust the matching, think it's doing a good job, it can even do all that long listing for you as well. And then we've got an example of some excellent candidate matches in the background.
Back to you then, Lisa.
Right, well, some really good stuff. If you've got any questions outside of this webinar, then for obvious reasons, drop me a message.
Really, what we want you to do from here is try these tips. Now, as we said, it doesn't have to be all of those tips. It might just be one, it might just be two. But as long as there is a tip in there that you think, yeah, that's the one that could really change my desk, make my life easier, give it a go. That's what we do these for. We're not expecting to, reinvent the wheel every single time. But if we can give you that one or two pieces of information that are really going to help you turbo your desk, turbo your pipeline, and to make your life easier, that's what we're here for. Next sense, as well as trying these tips, we want you to sign up for a recruitment hit trial. As Lisa was saying, we've got lots and lots of information on there. We've got stuff about Bullhorn, Sourcebreaker, Interview. We've got recruiter circuits. We've got sales tips. We have got a temp course coming up in the next couple of months as well, which we're really excited about. And finally, look out for our next webinar. As Lisa said, we've got one by Wayne next week about really using automation to monetize those candidates. And then we've got another Bullhorn webinar next month where we're really going to focus on helping you find those jobs, turn that old data into gold, and really try and, just maximize what you've already got.
Right, everybody, I'm back in the room. Let's go on to the next slide and get these lovely people back to their desks. So obviously, don't forget, we've got a whole back catalogue of webinars. And if you think about we're doing 2 a month on average, plus the 4-minute tips, the 1-minute tips that we create as well that are there for you, as well as lots of other goodies. Be sure to regularly check that out. Don't wait for me to message you. Take control of your learning and your business and give the tips to other people in your business. Don't assume that the more experienced people in the room know more. Often people were trained by someone who was trained by someone who was trained by no one, or the system has improved and changed dramatically since you had your initial training. And you can be forgiven, being busy recruiters, for being incredibly distracted by your candidates and clients. But sometimes we want you to be really selfish, because if you can improve and adapt and speed up, you'll be better for them as well, and then everyone's a winner. So next slide. So don't forget about those 1-minute tips. I'll keep sending them to you. Try them. They take a minute and they're a tip, nice and simple. And whether you have automation or not, come to our automation webinars. Start genning up on the power of this stuff. Automation makes recruitment easier. It doesn't take anyone's jobs. It makes it easier. It makes it faster. And it also helps a lot of our smaller clients become what we call giant killers, because it levels the playing field and it makes them more competitive, keeps the candidates and clients a lot more engaged as well, which is fantastic. Don't confuse recruitment automation with email marketing. Very, very different. Next slide, please. Don't forget HIT. We've talked about that. Sign up for a trial. If you want more information on it, just type HIT into your chat at the top there and I'll send you some information. And obviously, we've got our webinars coming up next week, automation, and a couple of weeks after that, some more information regarding how to use Bullhorn to pull more money out of it and get more jobs to work, making BD and account management easier. Have a great rest of week, guys and gals. See you on the next webinar. Thank you for your time today. Take care.
Take care.